Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, guess who's here? It's me, Bradley G. This is the Magic Brad Show. It even says so right there. See? And guess who I've got? I've got a friend that I just met. We had a little chat in the digital green room, and we're going to talk about one of my favorite things. And it's the what would you call it? Would you call it metaphysical? You can't use that meta now. Mark Zuckerberg's got that meta thing going on. So let's go see if Sue is in the green room. Knock, knock, knock. Are you decent? There you are. Hi.
Hi, Brad.
How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic.
I knew you
How
would.
about you?
You're one of those, because your thing is about positivity. So I knew that you'd be upbeat and stuff. I was just talking to a friend of mine that it's about perception. My magic thing, it's about perception. So you get up and you stub your toe. Some people get all mad because it hurts. You can also laugh at it. You know, that wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, it hurts, but so what? It'll go away.
Right.
Attitude is everything, right?
It totally is.
What part of the world are you in?
I am in right now sunny Sonoma County, California.
Sonoma. Now, Sonoma, is that a wine place, a wine country?
It's wine and cannabis now.
Oh, of course.
And fun factoid, I am allergic to both.
Well, that's a good place to be.
Right. Surrounded by good stuff, can't partake.
See, there you go. That's an attitude kind of thing.
Right.
So the way I do these interviews, I kind of just go with the flow and just ask you a few questions, and who knows where they're going to come from. I do a little bit of poking around and research, but you're a coach, right?
Yes. Yes.
My wife is a coach.
Yeah.
And I'm an advocate of coaches because I think they're the ones that can kind of get in between that self-talk thing, and they can kind of call your bullshit kind of thing, because you end up start talking to yourself and talking yourself out of possibility. And
right.
Like, who was it? You know the name Les Brown?
Oh yes.
Yeah. He would say something, if you argue for your inabilities one more time, I'm gonna let you keep them.
Right. Yes. Yes. And everybody has those little arguments going on in the back of your head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, I tell people that people do affirmations all wrong. Because they say something like, I am rich, I have great relationships, I've met the love of my life. And first of all, they're delivering it in a monotone and kind of in rote. The second thing is that they're not paying attention to all of the stuff that comes up that's going, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Right.
No, you can't do that. And what you need to do is bring out those big hairy monsters and teach them to waltz. You know, teach them to foxtrot. Teach them to play. You know.
So, did you know the name Arne Ronson?
Ooh, that one I don't know.
He's over on the other side on the East Coast, but he came up with a system of he calls them question cards, and what they do is, instead of saying I am a millionaire, it says, why am I a millionaire?
Ah, yes.
And then it makes your brain go, well, why am I?
Right.
And it thinks differently, and that's what you need a coach to kind of guide you down, because everybody's doing that negative, well, I am a millionaire, and then it goes, no, you're not.
Right. And the thing is that those voices came from somewhere.
Yeah.
You weren't born with that voice, otherwise you never would have learned to walk. Right. Because the first time you fell down on your butt, you would have gone, oh, I'll never do this. Oh man, I've fallen down again. Not going to happen. I'm just going to sit here the rest of my life. I am going to be a blob. And that's not what happens. Kids go, okay, I see everybody else walking. I'm doing that. I'm going there.
What's your ideal kind of, what kind of issues do you like to help people through? I mean, are you more of a business coach, a life coach, a health and wellness coach, or all of the above?
My favorite thing is to help folks who are beginning to think about being in business, or they have actually begun a business and they're running up against their stuff, right? Oh. They're running up against all of the beliefs that they have, and maybe the people in their lives who are going, oh my God, 3 out of 5 businesses fail in the first year.
Oh, sure.
20, they all failed. No, you only have a 4% chance of success, blah, 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 blah. that's when they need coaching, because they need somebody on their side, first off, who's going to say, yes, of course you're going to succeed. And the second thing is to say, here's how you're going to do it, by going through strategy, tactics, and then ops, not the other way around. And there's got to be a purpose behind all of that. And to get people back on the road of being inspired by their business so that they can help people in the world, because that's what a business is for, a product or service that helps somebody.
Right, because as soon as a person thinks I'm going to get in my own business, there's that passion and that inspiration that's pulling you through. And then you have a little bit of struggles because you got to fill out a form and you don't have that, maybe. And you start having that self-doubt. And then someone says, did you know that 3 out of 5 businesses fail? And you go, oh my God, I'm one of them.
Right. And they just quit. And no, I want you to be out there doing you, whatever it is that you do. Maybe you're an inventor and you've got some really cool products, or maybe you're another coach. You want to coach somebody. Maybe you're a sleep coach. You're doing something in the world that provides benefit to somebody else. Why would you deny people the benefit of your product or service? Why would you do that?
And sometimes those roadblocks aren't that big. It's just a small little roadblock. You just step over it. You don't realize how simple it is. Like I'm doing my background's in the event industry, and because of COVID, there are no event things going on. So I pivoted a little bit and I'm doing more online promotion, and I'm doing the affiliate marketing thing. You know what that is, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some people complicate that. You've got to have an autoresponder. You got to have this, that, and the other thing. And you really don't. I saw a TikTok of a guy that was a fisherman in a little kayak, and he had his camera set up, and he just goes out and he goes fishing, and then there's a little URL that's in the camera range, and it links to all of his store of all the fishing equipment. So he just goes out and does stuff fishing, and then if people click on his little store, then they can buy the thing and he earns money from it. So he's out doing what he loves. Like your website here, where you are, the sound of success, the sweet sound of success. Yeah. As soon as somebody starts talking how difficult it's going to be, and you realize there's all sorts of regulations you have to deal with, not necessarily. So you help people get that block out of the way, and that self-talk. Very cool. I like it.
Yes. And I
never like those 4-letter words. Can't.
Oh, yes. And I just did but I did a YouTube series on my 3 favorite F words, one of which is fail. If you're going to be in business, you have to get over the fear of failure, because failure just teaches you what not to do, right? Mm-hmm. It's like the toddler, falling down on their butt. Oh, okay, that didn't work. Get up, do it again. Do something different. Do something, or get help. Ask for help. I
learn to fail forward, right?
Yeah, fail forward. I remember vividly a friend of mine's toddler who wanted to learn how to walk, who came up to me, crawled up my leg, and grabbed my finger and made me walk her around the living room until she got it, and then she let go and she was good. Ask for help.
There you go.
That's what you need. And
I run into that, in my world. I started doing magic when I was a kid, and I see these people that want to get into the magic business, and they don't really know exactly how they're going to do this. They got a job and they want to do it full time. Mm-hmm. I've gone down the path, so I can show you the direction to go, because I've been there, done that. Just by asking for a little help, it could save you a lot of time. So someone can ask you, I got this roadblock. My mom said I wasn't going to be able to amount to anything, and how can I do this if I'm not going to amount to anything? And you can kind of set them straight and realize that that's a lie.
Absolutely. And the cool thing is that I have a little extra thing that I do. It's a technique called biofield tuning, which gets rid of the negative programming that you might have picked up. Not only picked up directly, but that you have inherited from your family or from your culture. There are, for instance, in some of the Asian cultures, not just in India and Pakistan, but in some of the other Asian cultures, if your family were merchants, they were merchants forever. There was no other way that you could be other than a merchant. If you were a scholar, you were a scholar forever. You could never be a merchant, and a merchant could never be a scholar.
I see.
And neither of them could be warriors. Wasn't going to happen. Couldn't do it. And so there's this cultural imprint there that prevents people from being who they really are and what they really want to do. And my technique helps people get rid of that.
So I'm sure you get a lot of people that have what I deemed the not enough issue.
Oh, yes.
I'm not good enough kind of thing.
Yes.
And you help people with that kind of thing too?
And I call it two syndrome. It's, I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too ignorant. You know, I'm too woo-woo. I'm too techie. I'm too white. I'm too black. I'm too Latinx. I'm too gay. I'm too straight. I'm, you know, Louise Hay in her fabulous book, You Can Change Your Life, has pages of the twos. I love getting rid of two syndrome. And I invite people, go online and find people just like you who have done what you want to do or something similar, because I guarantee they're out there. There are people who don't pay any attention to unto whatever and say, hey, I'm absolutely perfect. Let's go.
Well, I find it interesting because, you know, on occasion I end up using a coach, and what's interesting is sometimes they'll ask you something and my response, and I'm sure a lot of others, is, you know, I don't know. You know, they'll say, like, what do you want to do next? And it's, well, I don't know. That isn't true. You know, you just don't know how to put it in words.
Yes.
And you can call people on that.
Yes. And actually, there are only two things that people want. Really, really, like down deep. Everything else is just food coloring.
Is one happiness?
Nope.
No?
No. No. They want love and they want to make a difference.
I was going to say want to be recognized, but I guess that would fall into the love category.
That comes under the love category, because love is to be seen, to be heard, to be accepted, and to be valued.
And then make a difference by paying it forward.
Exactly. Exactly. And the first person who you need to love is you. And the one you need to receive love is you.
Yeah.
You need to you need to see yourself, hear yourself, accept yourself, get over two syndrome, and value yourself, because nobody will value you as much as you do.
Sure.
No, they're just not. And so whatever worth you put out in the world is what the world is going to give back to you.
I think a lot of people end up overcomplicating things too. When you can make it so simple as those little two things, it's much easier to grasp rather than this. Like, I explain to people that the business thing, it's basically three things: plant the seed, nurture the plant, harvest the fruit. So you got to go find leads, and they got to be the right leads, because if you're growing tomatoes and you're planting radishes, you're not going to get any tomatoes. So the seeds have to be the right thing.
Yes.
And then the time takes the nurturing, the relationship, and then the fruit falls off the vine. So it kind of is just two things. You need the seeds and the plant, and the fruit will happen. And I use the analogy with a combination lock, where if you don't know the combination, it's hard to open that lock. But if you do know that the combination is, I want tomatoes, and I'm going to give them, because some plants, like ferns, they need shade.
Right.
Whereas the sunflower needs sun. So if you know what the second digit is, it's shade and not sun, it's going to flourish. And some people overcomplicate things, and they start looking at all the stats and analytics, and it's simplified. And that's what you've just done with these two things.
Exactly. And in order to, if you really want to attract your customers, if you love them, see them, hear them, accept them, and value them, they're going to love you back. It doesn't take very much. And I use the word love in business a lot because that's really what we're talking about. You can't remove that from the equation.
Well,
Right?
that's the attraction part.
Yes.
I talk about like, you know, when you pour a cup of coffee and those little bubbles and the bubbles eventually come together, that's kind of love. They're
Yes.
coming together. That's kind of like the planets. They're held together. There's centrifugal force trying to throw them apart, but the love is pulling them together.
Yes.
So if you can learn that law of attraction thing, then the customers just kind of drop in your lap and
Just yes.
it will fall off the vine.
Yes. And you just nurture them that way.
As a coach, you were trying to help people not overcomplicate things with all those twos, right?
Right. And many people who are starting business tend to start with the ops, which is, oh, I've got to get a website and I've got to do Facebook ads and I've got to do, you know, I've got to set up a funnel and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And it's like, but
That's just avoidance, isn't it? That's the monkey mind trying to, what do they call that? Like the fear of success.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's also a distraction because they want to get into business and they look on the internet and there's all these shiny objects that say, oh, you've got to do this and you've got to do that and you've got to do the other thing. And those things are really valuable. They're really cool. They're great. They're fabulous. But unless you have a strategy at the top, then just getting ClickFunnels or GrooveFunnels or Kartra or whatever is not going to help your business. It's just a waste of money.
Right. It doesn't matter what the carpenter's tools are. The carpenter has to be a carpenter.
Exactly. You have to have, well, you have to be an architect. You have to have the architect's blueprint to tell you whether you're building a mansion or an outhouse.
That's funny. I'm using that one. That's funny.
Feel free. All yours.
Sometimes our brains are the smart people. They know about all these different tools and things. And sometimes it's the people that aren't so smart that end up being successful because they don't have those obstacles that they're carrying around. Like in like construction, I see some of these guys, they seem like they're dumb as a box of rocks, but they know how to use a hammer and a saw and block work, and they know how to make houses. So they say, you know what? I'm going to talk to my friend Steve. He knows how to do roofing, and George over there, he knows how to do the siding and stuff. I'll just get him a case of beer and we'll build a house and I'll sell it for $300,000. And all of a sudden this guy starts a construction company because he just went to action. Now,
yes.
Those kind of things, those are the things that you can kind of get all those roadblocks out of the way.
Right.
All those I can't kind of stuff and
right.
help them say,
right.
you can do this.
And this is a beautiful example of getting allies in your business with you, right? You don't necessarily have to pay them with a case of beer, but in my case, it would be useless. But it would. It's great to have allies because then you're making it a stronger connection between you, and you can compensate for each other's lacks, so to speak, weaknesses, and together you're so much stronger in doing this. And I'll also put it in this whole, building sort of metaphor. Again, they can read the architect's drawings.
Yeah.
They're not doing it without a blueprint. They're not building a house without a blueprint, because otherwise, somebody will say, well, I'm going to put the door over here, to face on the south side. And somebody else says, yeah, but I want it to be a two-sided door. And somebody else says, but that doesn't fit in the south side because it needs to be center of the building because the living room is going to be over here. Yeah, but the living room can be back there. We're going to put a bathroom up here. No, You get on the same page, you get the architect's drawings, you figure it all out, then you can build the house.
Exactly. That's so fun to use the analogies like that.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of a sidebar, but with all the regulations with the houses, there was a guy that had a restaurant, and the food safety people come in and say that the door out of the kitchen has to swing out. And then another organization came in and said the door out of the kitchen needs to swing in.
Right.
So what the guy did was bought 2 doors, and then whenever the inspector come, he'd swap the doors out.
Yep, because exactly. For one, you need it that way, and for the, I'm sure it's the ADA, the Disabilities
Something
Act.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in your situation, like you'd mentioned the allies and things, that's another reason I'm giving some advocacy to using a coach. You've kind of been there, done that, and talked to different people. If someone comes to you and says, I got to do all this stuff, but I really would like to have this logo, you can say, what a coincidence. I've got a client that does logo design.
Exactly.
Exactly. Use you as a resource.
Not only is my Rolodex really good because I love being a connector. I love doing this. This is, besides coaching, this is the thing that I love, is going, you guys need to get together. I can
Isn't that
introduce
fun?
you. Oh, that is just the most fun. But I have 2 friends who are super connectors. So I have 2 friends who each have 30,000 people in their LinkedIn connections.
Wow.
So whoever I don't know, one of them will. So, if you want resources, I can find you resources. I know people who know people.
Yep, that's what I mean. The combination lock that if the second digit is 26, somebody's got it for you.
Yep.
Just got to find it. Well, this is super fun. Sue, we're going for about 20 minutes. I don't like doing these too long. We're 22 minutes into it because I want people to be able to digest it. Is there something that you can share with us? Like, do you have like a little test opportunity? People can download some freebie or something from the website?
Well, not from that website, but I have created a cool little 5 steps to doubling your income in 30 days. It's a little ebook. And I will tell you that the first step, I'm just going to give away the first step, it is breathe. Because if you are in a place where doubling your income in 30 days is a good thing and it's something that you're really interested in, you probably stopped breathing. You probably went, and what that does is that shuts your brain down.
Right.
You can't think, you can't process. Your brain's going, wait a minute, needing the oxygen, we're dying here. No. So the first step is breathe. And after that, it just gets easier. So
I've noticed that when I've asked a question and I don't know the answer, all of a sudden that's what you do is you stop breathing and you start thinking.
Right.
Yeah,
you need to breathe and then think.
Very good. So they can contact you from this website here, Sweet.
Yeah, let me get the link for you here, and I will put it in the chat if that's okay.
Sure, and then I'll put it on this little banner thing again.
Right there.
Wonderful. Was that this bit.ly?
It's a bit.ly.
Okay, folks, you know how to do this bit.ly deal. It's not that difficult. And here it is. So that's how it works.
Yeah, Sue 5 steps.
Why? Sue, 5 steps.
Yes.
Perfecto. Well, I really appreciate it. I'm going to pop you into the green room by magic, make it disappear, but I appreciate you taking the time to be with us, Sue.
Thank you, Brad, for inviting me. This has been fun.
It is. It's kind of, with this weird situation we're in, you don't get to see any humans anymore. I spend a lot of time on the internet with people I don't know, so it's nice to actually engage and have a conversation.
Right. And from Minnesota to Sonoma.
Just like that. Wonderful. Okie dokie. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
What
Thank
are
you.
those digital hors d'oeuvres we got back there?
Yeah.
Well, that was fun with Sue. And here's her other website too, by the way. Sweet Sound of Success. And I hope you enjoyed watching. And if you want to know more, you can contact me or contact Sue. We'll put you together somehow, make that connection. So peace, love, and happiness. This is Magic Brad signing off. Enjoy your day. Be good, be kind, be nice. See ya. Bye.